What's going on, guys? This is the one Rallen Riko, and today we are here with a deck list, and not just any deck list. We have my locals topping deck list. This one I topped about a week ago. Technically I got second, but we were both undefeated, so I'm saying I tied for first, but due to tiebreakers, I did get second. This was my first tournament back in literal years. I mean years. Definitely pre-2020, when I'm talking about at least 4+ years, probably like 5, 6 for a legitimate tournament. And to come in and just go through very good players, and my locals is stacked. We got too many good players sitting around. And to come back after so many years, thanks to Atman816 talking me into it, and to get second, tied for first, I think I'm pretty happy with it, and I think I might be entering tournaments again more frequently. It just depends. You know, we do #cardboys/Yugs Club on Fridays, so I don't really enter the tournaments. That's why I haven't entered. But here we are. I'll give all the shoutouts and fun stuff later. I'll give my matchups as I'm going through. But here's the main deck. Oh, I played. Well, see, you got different sleeves because I'm switching them between decks. But Dragon Link, or I guess Bystial Horus is the proper name for it now because there's no rockets in it. So technically, it's Bystial Horus, but I was playing it as Dragon Link, and then it became this, so I'm still calling it Dragon Link, even though technically it's not Dragon Link anymore. Whatever you want to call it, it's Dragon Good Stuff, if you want to go that route. But let's just start with the main stuff here. The Dragon side of things, we got the 3 black metals, of course, with the Red Ice Darkness that you search off that. We got the 3 Starlead Seyferts, the best normal summons, or basically your only normal summons in Starliege. Easy recursion on a level 8 dragon in your graveyard. And then also can proc regained when we get there. Some just like one-of dragony stuff. We got Ringo Worm. I might cut this. I like Ringo Worm. It didn't really come up with for me at all during the tournament, so it's just kind of there. But it is useful, especially since you're synchroing a lot with a different engine I have in here that I'll show here in a bit. It can become very useful for more synchros from 6, like if you have a 6 and a 2, going to 8, and it can help you get into a 10 easier. It's just depending on how you're going there. Legionnaire and Chaos Emperor of Armageddon can win you games easily. He puts a lot of pressure, banish a bunch of stuff. He's a really good card. This helps recur things from your banished, and also he's a free level 8 body, and if you really want to, you can summon something big in your extra monster zone and nuke the field. They have to do something about it. I never really used that effect, but he has it, so don't forget that you can. And then the 1 Chaos Space. The most out-of-pocket hit from Konami. I get it, but also why? I just picked up my collector rares, and now I'm down to only being able to use 1. That kind of sucks. So that's the default, just dragon stuff there. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Then for the more dragon stuff, we play the Bystials, of course. We got 3 Lebellion, 1 Magnamut, 1 Druis Worm, 2 Serenir. You can have 3. I play around with 3 or 2. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Later in the game, his effect isn't as useful because all your stuff's in the graveyard. I mainly send Lebellion anyway, so if I have 3 Lebellions on grave, he's just another Bystial to summon. So you can't play with 3. Maxing out on Bystials isn't bad because interruptions during your opponent's turn, and we're not playing like Ball Drake or anything, so having 3 is not bad. I just do the 2. Then, of course, the 1 Branded Regained. I don't play the trap card in this build, Branded Beast. You can if you really want to. I've just stopped doing it. And from what I've seen from others who are arguably better than me, they're not really playing it as much either. So it's an option for you if you want it or have the space you want to put it in, you can. I personally have chosen not to. And that's not all, because we got plenty of space. Of course, we're throwing in the ones that are in the red sleeves. My Horus package. I'm going to move these down here so you can actually see them. 3 Mseti, 1 Happy, and 2 King Sark. When it comes to this engine, you can play multiple different numbers of these. I know people really like throwing in Dumateth, Creepy Hesnuef, and that's the other 2. Yeah, this is the other 2 if you want as well. Like in Centur-ion, which is the reason why these sleeves are red. They're from my Centur-ion deck. I play 1 of every name, and then 3 Mseti, of course. You can do that. It gets a little full in this kind of build because you have so many cards to go through. Excuse me. Like, you just got so many cards in your deck. You don't want to brick too hard. And Lord knows opening a Happy and a Dumatef would suck, but you want Mseti and one name or something good discard fodder if you have it. So I keep it like this. I like it like this. But in other decks, I do play more, so I would not be surprised or upset or really hate if someone were to play a bigger package of this in the Horus, Bystial, Dragon Link, whatever the hell you want to call it, Dragon deck, Dragon.deck. But that's what I go with here. I like it. It works good. And the other small engine, shout out to Kalen Cooksey Garcia, Mr. Cookie himself, for really making this pop off. And I'm glad I bought these before he started doing good with them, because I wanted the Red Dragon Archfiend structure deck. 2 Vision Resonator and Crimson Guy. You can make this 3. I've thought about making it 3. Maybe if I drop Ringo Worm, I'll make it into 3, just to have 3 of them. He's very good. He summons himself. He doesn't lock you into Dark Dragons, is the biggest thing. And he can summon himself to the field if a level 5 or higher Dark monster is on the field. You don't have to control that monster. Remember that. I always forget that. He can summon himself if your opponent, let's say your opponent has a Bystial Magnamon. You can summon this to your field because they control that monster. It just has to be on the field. A level 5 or higher Dark monster. And then Crimson Guy is really strong. That you search once per turn, searching for Vision Resonator, of course. And then I do run the Red Dragon Archfiend in the extra deck. If you attack with that, you can change all your opponent's monsters to face down defense position. And then, of course, if the first effect is if a monster on the field is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can special summon a Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard. So after you've used it, let's say you've used it to go into Disc Patter or whatever, if you pop something on the field, you can use this to summon it back. It doesn't have to be your monster. Again, just if a monster or monsters on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can summon back that Red Dragon Archfiend. Now I say do be careful with that, because Red Dragon Archfiend, the original one, he will destroy all your other monsters on the field that did not attack this turn. You don't want to get yourself caught with that, so be smart about that. If you can attack, attack. Make sure you can attack, or rather, get rid of it so you don't have to deal with the downsides. Then the rest is just the hand traps. This is all modular. You can do whatever you want with it, how you feel, your locals, whatever event you're going to. I do the 3 Ash, 3 Droll, especially now with Bonfire and all that nonsense. Droll for sure. 2 Veiler. I bounce between 2 and 3. I like having 3 in main, but just making space for other stuff. So here we're going. The 1 Triple Tactics Thrust, or the Triple Tactics Talent, and a 2 Triple Tactics Thrust. I have the other 2 and other 1 inside. I think I might only run 2 in this deck. I don't remember. I'll get to my side here in a second. But that's what I do with these ones. I like this. It works. You can obviously bump it more if you don't have these. Talents are pretty easy to get, and they're going to want to hand trap you. This deck very much has many options to or opportunities to hand trap it or activate a card. So Talent is really good. I like Thrust as well because it can also help me search stuff like Imperm or board breakers. Like you'll see in my extra deck, I'll have things you can search off of Thrust to help clear their field or deal with a problem you may have. And you can main Nib. I like Nib. I just don't have it in the main. I might change that. I kind of like Nib in the main. But there's many options you can do here. This is what I just run with. Again, all comes down to your locals and or where you're at tournament-wise. Like if you're going to a bigger event and you expect to see Purely or more, I guess, Fire Kings or whatever, you can build towards that. I'll show the extra deck now. We got the Striker Dragon, of course. The Heretic Seals. Again, this is Dragon Link, but not. We have IP Masquerena, SP Little Knight, Barricade Borg Blocker. He didn't come up as often for me, but he is there. He's a very good option to put back your Brand New Regained or your King Sarcophagus. He's very useful. We got Dark the Dark Charmer, Underworld Goddess, which came in clutch a couple times because hey, you have a monster I can't get rid of. I can easily summon 4 times in a turn, and then boom, Underworld Goddess on top of that. So that's all my links. Move those to the side here. We have Red Dragon Archfiend and Scarred Red Dragon Archfiend. This is the one you summon. When he's used as link material, you can summon a Red Dragon Archfiend. Or Synchro material, rather. Actually, this thing just leaves the field. You can summon him. And then if he leaves the field because of a synchro, you can destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. So it's a free board wipe if you can get it off. Then we got, of course, the Trinity, if you will. Baron de Fleur. We got Chaos Angel and Dispatter. Some of the best level 10s in the game, period. More or less easy to summon. You can summon this off Starly Safer and a level 6 Bystial, and he'll have both effects. Sometimes this can just end the game, because if your opponent does not have a main deck out, what are you going to do with a 3500 body you can't beat over, or effect with monster effects? Really good cards, really good cards. Should have been reprinted in Maze of Millennia, but we got the Thrust reprint instead, which isn't a bad reprint, but oh well. And then for the 8s, I kind of mess around with these. This is where I'm sitting at right now. We got Hope Harb, Zombie Vampire, and Typhon. I didn't get to use Typhon. I almost did a couple times, but he's still a good card. Good to have, because he can just turn games around by himself. Zombie Vampire I used a lot, especially if I was in a rougher hand and I needed more material to go someplace. You can use Zombie Vampire. Dump 4 from each deck from the top. You mill 4 from top of the deck, and then summon a monster that can be summoned from there. That's an easy way to get into SP if you need to. You can have Zombie Vampire and summon whatever you summon from either their deck or your deck, and then just link into SP and have that. And then a Hope Harbinger, he's level 8, negates a spell and takes it as material. Can't go wrong with it. He's the staple. I might play around with it. There's other level 8, like Photon Lord, you could play. I play that in Centur-ion. He's not a bad option in the slightest. He's a really good card. You could also throw in Zeus, because we have these. You could make some space, put Zeus in because it's Zeus. Never hurts to have him around. I've fought myself on wanting to include Zeus in here, but I eventually didn't. And I didn't really miss it, but at the same time, it could have just been the situation that I was in that particular tournament that day. But here's my side. And then shout out to Gem for the sexy deck box. I love this deck box. We have the other Veiler. We have 3 Nib, 2 Lightning Storm, my other 2 talents. We got my other Imperm. We got 3 Evenly, which I might change. I don't know. I might drop this down a bit because I can search it off Thrust and then just use it. 2 Dark Ruler No More, same thing. And then Harpy's Feather Duster, really good target off Thrust, because we don't like back row here. Back row is bad. I don't like these stinky purple cards. They're mean and evil. I don't like them, so get rid of them. As for my matchups, my first matchup was against Red Dragon Archfiend. I went 2-1 in that match. I got him in the first game. No problem. He bricked really, really hard. And then game 2, I slacked a bit. I let him do too much, and he summoned a bunch of big dragons, and I could not, for the life of me, despite me trying, out them all. He had like Hot Red, and he had Dispatter, and I couldn't make him waste his effects, so I just kind of had to eat that one, take that L, but I came back and cleaned up in game 3. Then match 2 was Scareclaw. He kind of bricked and misplayed as well. First game he just ended on Viscous Astrolaud, one of the field spells, and the back row that protects him from destruction, I believe. But I was able to out that and obviously just attack for big damage, because you're playing dragons. They all have a bunch of attack points. It's easy to clear up a field if it's empty. Game 2, I 2-0'd him. Game 2, it was a back and forth game. I was able to pull it out in the end, though. I had the extra gas that I guess he couldn't do, because we kept countering each other, but I just had every out I needed to. Then game 3 against the homie, that was check out Ant-Man816. He was the one that talked me to enter the tournament. He talked me into it, and then we met up, and he was playing Orca Sky Striker. Again, he had a rough time as well. The first game he just passed. He went first, and his hand could not work for him. Then game 2, we had a little bit more fun, but I was able to have just enough outs and set it up to where I didn't have, I think it was mainly like a Chaos Angel and something else. He had Mind Control or something else in hand. He could take my monster, but he couldn't do anything with it, so there's no point to do it. And I just had to summon and I think he had Nib in hand too. All I'd had to summon was the Serenir I had in hand, and then normal summon Starliege, and I had game on board with 35, 18, and 25. So Shout out to the homie. It was a good match. Wish we had more of a back and forth match, but that's what happens when you play against your friends. You always break badly. Happens when I'm playing with like Emerald Gamer and Diamond Gamer and or Just a Peanuts, if you know him. We always have the games where we're just open absolute crap because we're playing against our friends, and then the next test hand we do is the most broken hand you've ever seen. Then game 4 was probably my toughest one. It was against Unchained. She was a very, very good player. She absolutely waxed me game 1. Absolutely put me in a coffin. Not even funny. Beat me down. Game 2, I was able to come back. In game 3, it came in the time. I was able to do a little bit of damage with attacking with, I think, Magnemite. And she had a set summon limit, so she couldn't summon a monster big enough to do any damage back to me within the minute or 30 seconds she had left in the round at game 3, so I was able to take that. We only did 4 rounds. Normally we do 5, so I think if I lost out in my last game, at worst I probably would have gotten 3rd, but at best I would have gotten 1st. And like I was saying, I tied for 1st. I like the deck. It's fun. I love big dragons in very different forms. Basically all my decks revolve about summoning a dragon at some point, so I love it. It's fun. It's a great deck. This goo here is from Kalen Cooksey Garcia, Mr. Cookie himself. He's always been a good friend of mine that I can go to for information because he's good at the game, has good game knowledge, and he's just really, really good. You've probably heard of him if you've seen any tournaments or like watch deck profiles or whatever. He does really well. He topped with this basically the same list a couple months ago, and he always helps me when I come, hey, can you give me some idea with this or that? What you thinking? He's always helpful. And of course, shout out to hashtag Cardboys, Yugs Club, that's the homies. We're uploading on hashtag Cardboys. I did my Centur-ion deck profile over there, actually, if you want to check that out. That was fun. I like that deck a lot. Ant-Man816 for, talking me into the tournament. I liked it because at the end of the day, after everything was said and done, I pulled an ulti triple tactics out of my winnings, so that was pretty cool. Shout out to Game Cafe for always running a good tournament. Plenty of good people there. I love the people that go, for the most part. There's always those 1 or 2 that are an issue, but I love the people. It's a good community. I love the store. They always take care of us. And shout out to the KC locals in general. There's so many people around. Great people. I can't name all of them. I got too many people in my mind. But if you like what you see, leave a like down below. Subscribe for more content like this. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And figure reviews. And let me know what you think about the deck list down below. How you change it, how you play it, or any ideas you have. And I've been the one, Rallen Riko. We'll see you guys in the next one.